Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to see two very brilliant games that are played by Paul Morphy. So in the first game, he is playing with black pieces against John William. So the game started with the move pawn to e4, e5, f4. You may be knowing this. This is known as King's Gambit. And here Paul Morphy played d5. This is known as King's Gambit decline. Even I have made a video on King's Gambit theoretical lines, accepted, declined both. You can have a look at it. Okay, so here game continues with e d5, e4, then knight to c3, knight f6, pawn to d3, bishop to b4, pinning the knight, then bishop d2, unpinning it, then pawn to e3, bishop e3. Here you can already see black is two pawns down, but in return he is trying to gain a lot of play and lot of activity. So it continues with castle, then bishop back to d2, rook e8, bishop e2, then bishop takes c3, b takes c3, bishop to g4. Here you can see already it is pinned, so bishop cannot take here. So here it continues with pawn to c4. Here white is again just playing a lot of pawn moves which I really don't like. But at that time, you could say the theory and all were not developed. So the game here continued with pawn to c6, d c6, then knight takes c6, king to f1 to go out of this very deadly pin. But here Paul Morphy continued with rook e2, amazing exchange sacrifice. First he did two pawn sacrifice, now a exchange sacrifice. White took with the knight, then knight to d4, putting pressure on this pin. Then it continues with queen to b1, then bishop takes e2 check, king f2, then knight to g4 check, king on the g1. Then here again the amazing move knight f3 check, sacrificing the knight. Oh wow, what a brilliant moves he is playing. Then g f3, queen d4 check, then king g2, queen f2 check. King has only one square, h3. Then queen takes f3 check, king h4. Then a slight move, knight to h6, threatening, preparing the checkmate threat trap. And now white cannot escape. He tried for queen g1 because there was a mate coming here on the g4 square. So here just knight f5, king to g5 and queen h5, leading to amazing checkmate. This was really a very brilliant game that he played, and actually Paul Morphy was said to be already ahead of his time. At that time all those things like activity and of pieces and all these things were not developed. At that time chess was all about attack, but still he used to play like this, like, and he has like a very nice play. Obviously he would have become world champion, I think, yeah, if he would have won later. But that time there was no world championship system, and he was considered to be the first unofficial world champion. Okay, so now let's go back and look at the second game that he has played. So in the second game he was playing with the white pieces against Duke Carl. So it started with pawn to e4, e5, knight f3, d6, then pawn to d4, bishop g4, pinning this knight. So white continues with d e5 first, then bishop f3, queen f3, then d e5, bishop to c4. Just a slight small scholar's mate trap. Continues with knight f6, queen to b3, putting pressure on the f7 and also putting pressure on the b7 pawn. It continues with queen e7 because obviously black has to save this pawn first. But here white played knight to c3, is not even interested in taking that pawn. He had some major good ideas. Continues with pawn c6, not to allow the knight to come on d5. Then it continues with bishop g5, pawn to b5, which was not so good of a move. Here knight takes b5, amazing sacrifice. Continues with pawn takes knight, bishop takes pawn with a check, knight b d7, then long castles. Again, putting pressure on this pin. This is a pin. This is a pin. Lot of pins on the board. It continues with rook to d8, rook d7. Wow, amazing move. Now here knight cannot take because otherwise the queen will hang. So he took with the rook. Then rook d1, putting pressure on this pin now. Continues with queen to e6 to get out of the pin and asking for queen exchange. So but here he continues with bishop d7 first. Now knight d7, queen b8 check, knight takes b8, And rook d8, amazing checkmate with queen sacrifice. Wow, what a nice game, amazing calculation. Here also you can see Paul Morphy was much considering to go for activity rather than going for attack and exchange and all that. He just likes to sacrifice everything just to go for the activity. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more such videos.